Scott Bauer is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. He's taking a look at Nike for us. So Scott, Nike hasn't broken down and hasn't broken out either. It's kind of just hovering around previous highs. What are you doing?
So I look at this and I look at the fundamentals of this, and I agree with a lot what George just said, especially in terms of the tariff issue. Now, everybody's concerned about tariffs. Everybody's concerned about on these big reports, earnings guidance moving forward and how tariffs are going to affect it. But when you break down Nike, if you look at really how China affects Nike, 25%, only 25% of what they produce is produced in China, and less than 10% of that actually is exported to the United States. So even in a worst case scenario, Oliver, in terms of how long a tariff war may go on,
right,
I don't think it materially affects Nike. I love the upside potential here. I agree with George. I think they actually have the upper hand over a Lululemon. They are looking for new product, and the direct-to-consumer, that's going to be huge for them. So I am very positive on this earnings report, and in fact, I'm playing a very, very short-term option play that's completely going to be a hit or miss based off of the earnings report. Okay. So I'm buying this week's. So there's only a day left here. I'm buying this week's 85, 87.5 call spread. $2.50 wide. I pay about 70 cents for that. Fantastic reward to risk on that. The reason I'm choosing those strikes, the option market right now is expecting a move of about $4 or so, about a 5% move. If we get that move to the upside, that targets that 87.5 area. That's why I'm choosing that strike as my short, buying the 85 strike.
All right, so Scott, how do you manage a trade with that shorter duration? I mean, do you just not sleep tonight, or how does that work? I mean, no, but so, you got to act quickly, right?
I'm going to sleep just fine. I'm going to sleep just fine, especially if the Cubs happen to win tonight. But I'm going to sleep just fine because
I'm a White Sox guy, Scott. I don't know if you heard.
Well, we got the crosstown next week on the south side. We better go. So I'm limited in my risk, Oliver, right? If I pay 70 cents for this thing, that's all I can lose. So I go into this trade, I know what my risk is. I'm capped out, I know my worst case scenario, and I make my trade accordingly. I make my trade with the appropriate size to the amount I'm willing to risk. I know what the potential upside is as well, but I'm going to sleep just fine. If it doesn't work out, hey, it doesn't work out. I did the trade for all the right reasons, but sometimes that happens. But I'm really looking to take advantage of some nice reward to risk on this thing.
Okay, got it. So catches, if it doesn't go your way, you're not going to have a lot of time to wait for this thing to turn around intraday. It's basically do or die at the beginning of the session. Yeah.
It absolutely is. It's pretty much a do-or-die situation, which is why this type of setup here is rewarding that much reward to risk. If I went out another week or 2 weeks or July expiration, that would come down. It would give me a little bit more time to manage it, but I wouldn't have the potential that I have in this trade.
All right, Scott, good stuff. We got to run. I know you'd want to stick around and talk some Bitcoin with us, but right now, we're going to take a short break. Appreciate it, Scott. Trading Nike for us. Mr. Bauer is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. We'll be right back.